when the pandemic first hit, the first few months, I remember just like freaking out because I was saying to myself, because I left Bell and then like end of 2019. So January 2020, I was like, okay, I'm going to start this business, 94 Productions. Obviously, I'm not going to make $1 million, but let me see where I can go with this, right? It'll keep me busy, something to look forward to. And 3 months later, lined up all my clients, ended up shooting a video for one client. And then the pandemic hit, and I was like, oh no. And I didn't know how severe the situation would be, how long it would last. And I just remember every month it was like going into like April, May, and I was like this uncertainty and that feeling, because I've never been a freelancer before in my life. I've always had a steady job. So this, between the pandemic and between my thoughts, it was just creating all this anxiety, right? Unwanted stress. And then I think it was around the summer, that's when things turned around. Things were still bad, but the cases lowered, and I was able to, shoot a short film and, direct one of my first short films, and do some client work, whatever. And it was pretty consistent, I should say. I think I just mentioned the last lockdown is because as you know, like with freelance work, I'm sure you weren't affected because you're dealing more with professional, kind of like high budget, high production value, right? Like that it's protected. But I'm dealing also, not that they're not professional, it's just that a lot of it is your own kind of creative work, right? Expanding portfolios, or whether it's for a client that's willing to give you money, and being shut down, right? Like, I still remember I had to postpone a project for 2 months. I don't know, it really put a damper, right? It kind of threw off the momentum a bit, right? So it was a lot of like give and take, but at the same time, you got to like come out of it. You got to come out of it stronger, like you were saying, right? There's a lot of people I hear like talk about post-pandemic stress. So like coming back to like the real world or normal life, right? Yeah. So I guess you're doing fine with that. Like you're
Yeah, man.
adjusted.
Like right as things kind of start opening up again, the like film regulations, as you said, because I work for production companies. I work for like
Yeah.
big TV shows,
Yeah.
for like Discovery Channel, CBC, HGTV, Global. Like it's just all TV shows I work on, like
Right.
more factual lifestyle TV. So they got the green light as long as they had like COVID compliance officers, COVID rules. You'd have to like follow this and like wear like a face shield on set, wear a mask, and like after the first like lockdown, like the union was
Yeah.
skyrocketing. They just were so busy, and even like from that moment till now, it's just like
It's
it's
just
been going.
steady. So the
Yeah,
lockdowns never affected you because the media industry is considered essential, right?
it was only the 2 or 3 months that it was like everyone was like, they
Yeah.
didn't know
Yeah.
what was going on when like,
Right.
freelancers are kind of out, and it was a slow progression, but as it got up, like once again, I can only speak to myself where I work on bigger TV shows, but like little like people who do a lot of travel, they got kiboshed. People like yourself who are like more independent contractor, local
Hmm.
business big, kiboshed. Passion
Yeah.
projects, kiboshed. PSAs, kiboshed. If you didn't have like a big budget, like
Yeah.
over 100,000, 200,000 for your project, they cut it, right? Because you had to adhere to the rules, right? So once again, this is kind of coming from me, and I can talk, oh, I was doing so good, but there were so many people who suffered, right?
Right.
So
Right. Of
many
course.
people
Yeah.
who, and very much so, I talked to a lot of like people in the business who did take that break, and they their productivity is what they what their productivity was their worth, and they had to reevaluate too. We're talking about like 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds,
Oh, I believe
45-year-olds.
it.
I mean,
Yeah, because they've
who
been in for
like
the business a long time.
they've
Yeah,
been
and they
all
had to
they've been
adjust
doing,
their life. Yeah.
and they based their worth on their productivity and how many jobs they got and how much money they made. So
Right.
all these guys, sound guys, camera guys, all had to sit there and figure it out.
Yeah.
We're fortunate enough where we're like millennials and we get therapy, we get this idea of self-help, but like people who are older who don't have that mentality, we're
Yeah, for
probably having
sure.
a much harder time, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We're definitely open for that. Yeah.
yeah, we're lucky, right? We're lucky that our mindsets like that. But I know a lot of people who suffered, and things are really busy right now, like in terms of the business. Like there's a lot of film shooting, IATSE's like going crazy. A lot of American like scripted shows are here.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah, for
some of
sure.
the boys are shooting here. I know like Jason Momoa was in Toronto for like a year shooting like C. Like
Yeah.
it's busy, busy.